So the core issue is not that you don't know how. The real core issue is that you can't until you change the foundations of your normalised learning so that you can develop new feedback criteria. Because if you don't change the foundations of your normalised learning, what you have as feedback criteria is something that I call default. Now, what do I actually mean by that? Conditioning is like the brain shortcutting everything. You don't actually have to think. You don't have to check in with anything when you're about to make a decision. It's automatic. But think about the processes. If we could really slow the processes down and we could actually visualise those processes, every single action that you take, every single step that you make, every single decision that you're about to make has to be assessed against a bunch of criteria. You don't actually pick your foot up and put it down with that process actually going on. It's happening so fast. But that's why they make floors flat. So you don't have to do the calculation every time. That's why they make stairs the same height. Now, you know that if you go to Bali, the stairs are not the same height. It's harder to do it. It's harder to walk down them, it's harder to walk up them. Why? Because your brain has to calculate every step. Here, the steps are actually within, less than the millimetres tolerance. So now you can actually, once you've got it first one, then the brain has worked out now where every other step is. So you don't have to do it. And if you take a step and the floor is not there, what happens? You're now on high alert. That's an error in feedback. That's why the high alert is on, because there's been now an error in the feedback mechanism, the feedback to calibrate what you were calibrating against. So every decision that you make, you actually have to access a set of criteria in order to calibrate the decision. It happens in a nanosecond. You're not even conscious of it anymore. But please understand that you do have to check in with something. Will I go or will I not? What are you checking in with? Will I go or will I stay? You're checking in with something. Will I say something or will I not? You're checking in against a set of criteria. And it's happening in a nanosecond. If I say this, will I look stupid? I don't know. Let me do a quick calculation. Who's in the room? It happens in a nanosecond. Is that okay? So you do have a feedback mechanism there. You actually do have one in place. It's just that you're not conscious of it, but it's there. What you're going to try and do is figure out what's there. Well, the only way that we can know what's there is by now looking at our results and our language patterns, because we can now transfer. We'll say, okay, if you're saying these languages, then that set of criteria must be there. So if we can't get past our default feedback mechanism, as little progress as possible. So Money Mastery is designed to support change so that you can actually begin to start to embrace the whole idea of freedom, both economically and personally.